Imagine where you'd be in life if you stayed consistent with your goals and your habits a year ago. Probably a completely different place, a completely amazing different place. I often wonder that, I often think of that. It overwhelms me so much when I think of that. It makes me feel like a failure, but it never actually solves the real problem and the real issue, which is I don't know how to be consistent. I could overwhelm myself by thinking, oh, what if I was consistent a year ago? What if I stayed consistent 5 years ago? What if I started doing that earlier? I could do that, yeah. I could reminisce about things and think about things and overthink about a lot of things, but it doesn't really solve the problem. It only makes it worse. And I promise that in this video, I'm not gonna make you feel better about yourself. I'm just gonna give you 7 steps, which I will break down into even smaller steps. So it would be clear as day to you what to do and how to stay consistent in any area of your life. First one is set the foundation, which includes find your why. And you not only have to find your why has to be a strong why, because if you want to do something and you don't have a strong why for that, and your why is to, I don't know, impress someone or to be like someone else or to be, I don't know, accepted by those cool kids, chances are you're gonna back off of that habit or of that goal because it's not a strong enough why. Strong why could be, for example, I want to better my health, that's why I'm running a marathon. Not I want to impress other people, that's why I run a marathon. Don't get me wrong, there are some people for whom that could be a strong why, but when you're preparing yourself for a marathon, you see physically and like feel how your body changes. But when you prepare for a marathon, you're not always gonna see how people admire you, not always gonna see how people, you know, are in awe of you. They could be like, oh, good job, and then just say nothing. So basically your motivator is other people, and you cannot really rely on other people because they're unpredictable. You know, you don't know what's going on in their head. So your why should not be attached to other person or to other people, or like, I want to do that so that group of cool kids would accept me. Again, you're gonna back off of that why, because you're not gonna always feel like, not even always, you could feel like once they would tell you, oh, you're cool, you do that, and then nothing. Or it could work for you, I don't know, because I'm thinking of situations where I wanted something and my why was like attached to some people, like to people, like I wanted them to admire me or something like that. For example, I don't know, you could take a book into like public transport and not actually like reading, you just want to be admired by someone, and you always gonna be not focusing on the book itself, you're gonna focus on other people, like, are they looking at me? Are they looking at me? Are they admiring? Are they smiling at me? Are they like telling their friends how cool I am? You know? So it's, yeah, find a strong why that does not itself attach to other people. And you also have to choose a reasonable goal. I hate the word realistic. I hate it so much. Like, I don't know. There's nothing in this world that I hate more than the word realistic, but it's gonna be so overwhelming if you're gonna set such an unrealistic goal, and it's gonna just burn you out. It's gonna overwhelm you over and over again. So just set a realistic goal. It doesn't mean it have to be small. You just set realistic and achievable goals. Because yeah, we all can dream, we all should dream. I encourage dreaming. It's such an important and beautiful part of people and world and everything. Anyway, for example, if I wanted to run a marathon and I never ran a kilometer or a mile in my life, and I'm just like, okay, I'm running a marathon next week, that's not gonna play out well for you, because first of all, you could injure yourself. Second of all, you can overwhelm yourself so much and get home and be like, oh, you're such a failure, you couldn't run a marathon, you know. But duh, of course you couldn't, because it's like 26 miles or 40 something kilometers. Without preparing for it, you're not gonna run it. Sorry to break this news to you. You're not gonna run it if you're not gonna prepare for it. And yeah, that's why you have to set an achievable goal. Also, make sure that your goal is effective to help with your why. Okay, let's get back to the marathon thing. If my goal is to run a marathon, my why is to better my health and like take up on this challenge so I could prove to myself that I can do it and like, you know, just better my health, better my physical aspects and whatever. That could be my why, because that was my why. When I was preparing for half marathon, I just wanted to better my health and wanted to, you know, give myself some challenge. And I probably wouldn't have prepared for half marathon if I would be just like weightlifting only. That's why your goal has to be effective with your why, because if you want to prepare for a marathon and you're just like, okay, I'm gonna be only weightlifting, that's how I'm gonna prepare for marathon. No, you're not gonna. No. Next one is be as detailed as possible. I don't know the science behind it, but every time I do like as detailed plan as possible. For example, I like to go on my Good Notes app and choose books I want to read for that month, for example, and then I add all the pages, like sum all the pages of those books and divide it by the days of that month, and I just see how many pages I have to read. Then I choose like what book I'm reading first, and I'm like, from page 1 to 26 I need to read on this Sunday, then from 26 to 48 I need to read Monday, and like I do that, and that helps me to stay consistent. Or with running, for example, I would have like very detailed plans, like for example, today I'm gonna be running 3 miles, tomorrow I'm gonna do a speed run, day after tomorrow I'm gonna rest, and so on, so on, and so on. It really helps. It's not a magical solution. You're not gonna always be doing that. You can miss some days, but that's okay. But in my experience, that helps me the most of all the things. Just be as detailed as possible. Second one, create a structure. You have to determine what consistency looks like for you in your work life, in your personal life, in your fitness, in your studies, and etc. Here I cannot give you examples because I don't know how your life is going. I don't know what you're doing. Are you in university? Are you at work? Are you at school? I don't know. You are the only person who can, you know, figure out and determine what consistency looks like for you in those areas of your life. Next one is create a plan. And let's get back to that, as detailed as possible. Create a plan as detailed as possible, because a plan is there when motivation isn't. And you like see that, for example, oh, I need to read from this page to this page, or I need to run like 30 minutes of speed workout. You don't have to do it as detailed as possible, but plan helps. Like your plan could be not as detailed as possible. Maybe you like some flexibility and stuff like that, but there should be a plan, some kind of plan. And also build a personalized schedule. It doesn't have to be the schedule you think of, like where every minute of your day is scheduled. No. For example, for me, it doesn't work. I like some flexibility. I also get mad at myself and like irritated by myself when I don't do something. And for example, it takes me like 10 minutes longer, and then I need to reschedule everything by 10 minutes, and it irritates me so much. What you can do is, if for example it works for you, you could schedule every minute by like every task by in schedule thing, or you can write like tasks in the morning, evening, and afternoon, evening. You get it. And you just write what you have to do in that period of time, and you determine what morning to afternoon is for you, and then from afternoon to evening, because they could be different hours. And you just do that. I do it like that. I really like doing that like that, because I don't feel the stress, and I just see, for example, oh, I need to practice guitar, or I need to practice French, or I need to practice something, and I don't have that timetable and that annoying notification that says in 10 minutes you have to practice French, and I'm like, man, I didn't even finish writing the essay. I need to reschedule everything again. And it's just those notifications, like I want to sometimes to just stop. And that's what I do. I just don't schedule anything. I just write it down like I said to you, I do. Third one is implement practical strategies, which means set daily priorities. Because we can have so many tasks on our to-do list, and sometimes when I write to-do lists, it's so overwhelming, and I'm just like reading it through, and I understand that 70% of that is not even important. Like, it's something that I just need to do. Do laundry, like make a bed or like change the sheets or something like that, and it accumulates such a big amount of things on my to-do list. And by prioritizing and like urgent, not urgent, or there are a lot of types of prioritizing you can find on the internet, and you can choose which one will go well with you. But yeah, it's such a nice thing to just prioritize it, and in the end of the day you're just like, okay, I've done the most important tasks. That is so cool. That is, I'm proud of myself, because when I do all those 70% of tasks that I don't even need to do, they're just chores, you can call them, most of them, I feel so tired and so not fulfilled. Like I wasted this day because I was, doing laundry and like doing that and that and that, but I didn't do the things that I really need to do. And now that I spent it, like for example, I could start doing laundry or washing dishes and something like that, I turn on TV and then, oh my god, I'm watching the TV even when I don't do dishes or laundry or anything. And that's how in my life it goes in my life, something like that. You can also do eat a frog, which means start your day with the hardest task, but it doesn't work for everyone. It could be very overwhelming for some people. You can also start easier, like the easiest tasks, and like build up the hardness of your tasks. For example, it could work for you. You just really have to find like what works for you. Is it to start with the easiest tasks and just build up, or with hardest task, or with a task that you most dread or something like that? You just have to find it for yourself. But starting a day with the hardest task is just the best decision I've ever made, and like my day goes from there in the most amazing way. Because when I, for example, start a day with the easiest task, and I'm, for example, like, oh, I need to clean up my room, and I put on Friends, like TV show Friends, and I clean up the room, and then I end up watching Friends. Maybe just in my case, maybe I'm just addicted to TV shows and movies, but that's who I am. Maybe there are some people that are addicted to them too, and I just get distracted by them and I just end up watching them. But when I try to be mindful, demure, and very cutesy, for example, I need to write a script for video, or I need to record videos. I try to do this as early as possible, and just, so I would have the rest of my day to myself and like do these little things, other things, You can also try batching tasks. If you have like 2, 3, or 4 tasks that you can do in the same time, do it. But if some of those tasks are very important to you and you would like your full attention to be on it, and you need your full attention to be on it, then don't batch it, because we like to, do a lot of things at once, and we think, yeah, we're so good at that, but we're not so good at it. Also, set a timer for more focused work time. There are a lot of timers out there, and you can find whichever one you like. I'm not gonna recommend you anything because it's just a timer. And also have a daily cleanup. Have a daily cleanup of the place you're working on, or your room, or your space, because it's so nice to wake up in the morning to the cleaned up space, and not to wake up in a mess and just, start your day with like, oh, everything, where's that, why is so messy in here, it's just nice. It's decluttering. Decluttering is good, because the reflection of your room is a reflection of your mind, and it's such a good thing that you do not see my room, only the walls and this thing. That's what I'm gonna say. First one is make adjustments and stay flexible, which means be realistic and flexible. If you are running behind your schedule, you can postpone it a little bit, you can move some things around, you can adjust some things, doesn't mean it's the end of the world, doesn't mean you're a failure. You just, it took a little too long on the bus ride than you expected, so you're not gonna make it in time for your guitar practice in that time, and that and that and that and that, You can also switch things up, which will prevent you from getting bored in your routine, and will, encourage variety in your routine. And also, something that is very important and many people miss is schedule breaks. Make room for planned breaks, because it's so important. Most of the apps out there with the timetables and like focus time thingy, they have, for example, like 15 minutes of focus time and like 10 minutes of rest, and they have it pre-programmed into that app in most apps. But if you're gonna just use your timer on your phone, which is also fine, just don't forget that you need to rest also. Because if you are going to go to the beach and you want to get tan, and you're gonna be tanning for 30 minutes and you're not gonna take a break, go swim or whatever, then you're gonna, again, without break, tan for 60 minutes, for 90 minutes, and you're gonna get burned. You have to switch sides, or go to swim, or go take a snack, or just, you know, get under the umbrella, just not to burn your skin. The same goes with burning out. You have to take breaks, not to burn out. Fifth one is optimize your environment. Put your phone away. What I like to do is I do not keep my phone in my room. I put it in the living room, in the kitchen, anywhere else. I do not put it here, and it saves so much time. And honestly, when I take my phone, when I'm in the living room and I take my phone, I need to check something, and then I go to the screen time and I see that there have been like 5 minutes of screen time, I'm like, amazing. And it's 6 p.m. already, and I'm like, it's amazing. Also, take exercise breaks. There is this app that I downloaded that have option of normal breaks and has option of exercise breaks. Like, it gives you some tasks, like you work for that amount of time, and then you do 10 push-ups, 10 pull-ups, 10 sit-ups, and so on and so on. It's so fun. I didn't really like tried it. I do not know how to like program it for it to be like that, but I'm working on that. But it's so fun, and also good for your health. Also, have a notepad with you at all times, because when you get out your phone and you want to note something down, you can get distracted by a lot of things. I know I do. And keeping a notepad, like a little notepad and a little pen, is like perfect. Very perfect. Sixth one is utilize tools and support. Use tools that work for you. I understand that there are a lot of information out there, like things that work for people and what is cool, and use Notion because it's so cool on TikTok and stuff like that. But you have to find the things that work for you. For example, I never got Notion. Like, there was a period in my time when I'm like, oh, I get it. But now I'm just like, no, I don't. Like, I do not get Notion. I do not understand it. Maybe someday I will, and it'd be great, but now I don't. There are a lot of things I don't use that other people on the internet use, or that are cool, or that are productive, because I don't get it, you know? But also there are some things that I do use that are popular and productive and blah, 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 blah. So just find tools and things that work for you. And you may ask me, how do I know if things work for me? Try everything. Try Notion. Try, I don't know, Promodo, thing, timer. Try everything. And then you will understand what works for you. Because if you're gonna be like, oh, it's not gonna work for me, oh, it's gonna work for me because it's popular, it works for everyone else, then you're not really gonna find something that works for you. You just need to try things to understand if they work for you. Create calendars and set reminders. And I know that I said that I get irritated by those reminders and those notifications from calendars. Like, in 10 minutes you have French practice, and I'm just like, je ne sais pas. Je ne sais pas. That's actually the only phrase I know in French. It means I don't know. But what is important, what I try to say, if you like those messages and notifications and reminders, then it's great. But also you have to set those reminders, for example, like dentist appointment, or I need to do laundry that day, or I need to do that, like things like I need to finish essay by that day, I need to finish that or that by that day. If you are like me and you do not like to schedule every minute of your day, then just schedule the things that are really important. For example, I have a meeting at 6 on a Sunday, or have that, and just focus and schedule those things. What you can also do is to find support. You can find people that will hold you accountable and who you can hold accountable, because community and like people around you is great. But if you do not have that, do not feel bad, because I do not have that either. So we both in this boat together, so that's fine. That's fine. It's so cool when you have that, but if you don't, then be your own community, be your own supporter, be your own person, and be your own person who you can rely on. And the last one is make time for fun and make time for yourself, because you're not a robot and you cannot always just work, 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 and work. You have to have fun, you have to spend time with yourself to just watch those trashy TV shows, watch those trashy movies, or if TED Talks for you is a relaxation, watch TED Talks. And it could be very tempting to, when you're relaxing, to be like, oh, maybe while I relax, I'm gonna learn something also. No, just relax. Just please choose something and relax. Because I'm so guilty of that. Whenever I would be like, okay, I'm done with everything, I can do a break, and I just turn something on, like a course or something like that, and then I feel even more burnt out because I didn't even rest that day. And before bed, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna read this motivational book. I'm not gonna read those romance books that I like because they're just a waste of time, because TikTok told me it's a waste of time. It's nothing interesting there, you know? And, you know, it's not cool. It's not cool. You should really make time for yourself and to relax and to be with yourself. Because if you're gonna be pouring out of your cup and nothing will fill your cup, there'll be a moment, a time where you have nothing to pour out. It's called burnout. Yeah. Also, do banks suit me? What do you think? Because that is the end of the video. That's why I'm asking stupid questions. That's all I have for you for today. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that this information that I gave you will help you to stay consistent. And I love you, and I'll see you next week or in a few seconds if you want to watch any of my videos. Bye!